Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Mathieu with Forbidden Knowledge News, and I'm inviting you to what's going to be the most amazing event of 2020, the Laughlin UFO Mega Conference. This is going to be February 15th through 22nd in Laughlin, Nevada, and there's going to be 30 of the most extraordinary scientists, researchers, and experiencers. They're going to be there to disclose unprecedented information that you will not be able to hear anywhere else. Tonight, I'm happy to welcome Marc Dantonio. He has a degree in astronomy and is a chief photo-video analyst for the largest aerial anomaly organization on Earth. He is also the host of Sky Tour Radio on KGRA Radio and is the host and creator of Sky Tour Livestream with Marc Dantonio on YouTube. Marc, how are you tonight?
Excellent, Chris. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to what you have to present at the conference because I agree there is so much that modern science can't explain. And I understand you have some fascinating information you're going to be sharing. First, tell us a little bit about yourself and your work, and then go into what you're going to be presenting.
Well, I'm an astronomer. This is what we look like, and astronomers study the universe. They study the stars. Okay, we differ from astrophysicists and cosmologists. Astronomers tell you what this thing is in the sky. Astrophysicists tell you how it might work, and cosmologists say, why does it work? Why the universe at all? I mean, they ask the bigger questions. So as an astronomer, I get to focus on the mechanics of what goes on out there. And so I've been exposed to the science which shows us all the many things we seem to know about the different facets of astronomy. However, I've also discovered something else, and that is that astronomy has places where it actually falls in its face. Our understanding is not full. Our understanding is not complete. So we hear of things like dark energy and dark matter. What are those? Well, dark matter doesn't mean it's black matter. It just means it's stuff we don't understand. And believe it or not, dark energy and dark matter comprise 96% of our universe. That's 96. That's only 4% from 100. And we only understand the 4%. And of that 4%, 2 of it is missing. And we don't even know where it is. So really, we've gotten to Mars, to Pluto. We've left the solar system with the Voyager spacecraft, all on an understanding of the 2% of our universe. Can you imagine if we could understand 100%? No, 50%. We'd be in such a better position. So we don't know what's going on yet. We have theories for why this stuff happens. And our astronomy works for some of this. We first imaged the black hole, first time in human history, 55 million light years away in the constellation of Virgo. We could see the actual dark, round, black event horizon location of a black hole from 55 million light years away. Granted, the black hole was several times the size of our whole solar system, but still, it was a feat beyond imagining. So that's where our science works, because our relativity calculations showed exactly what that black hole might look like when we could finally image it. And the image we got was exactly from that prediction. So that's where astronomy works, something like that. But where astronomy doesn't work is in a whole host of other things in the universe. Just the expansion rate of the universe. Edwin Hubble came up with a universal constant, a Hubble constant it's called, to calculate the expansion rate of the universe. Well, that's been a tenet. It's been a tenet of astronomy for decades, until recently. Now we discover that it's not such a tenet anymore. In fact, it's changing. The Hubble constant is anything but constant. So that's a huge problem, because we used that Hubble constant to figure out how fast the universe was expanding, and in turn calculate how far back it went when it started. In other words, we got the age of our universe from that. Well, this could be trouble for our calculations, as you can see. So things like this, among many others, are problematic. Add to that that I have had experiences that I simply can't explain. They don't fit in my science. I can't explain why I had something shoved up into my sinus and had to have it removed surgically, only for it to disappear from the hospital. I can't explain seeing an unknown submerged object while a guest on a U.S. Navy submarine at sea that was moving several hundred knots underwater, far faster than anything humans have ever made. And the entire sonar group and the command structure within the submarine had no idea what they were looking at. And I was right there to see it. So I can't explain that. Well, see, that and more are some of the things I'm going to be talking about in Laughlin. I don't know how to connect our science that we understand with some of the events I've experienced and some of the things in astronomy that we know, like this dark matter and dark energy. Maybe that's an explanation for how an alien civilization can get here from there. Don't know.
Well, there are a lot of exciting things happening, especially with, you know, the admittance of the UFO phenomenon from certain, you know, areas of the government and the Navy.
Yes.
And all of that happening right now we've never heard as much talk about it as we have now. And
That's correct.
with the advent of all our sciences and technology, it seems like we should have had contact. Do you think that they are holding back contact for some reason?
They being our government, or they being...
I'm talking about entities off-world.
Okay. Let me put it to you this way. All you have to do is observe our planet in some fashion. I believe they're here and they're underwater. Why? Because that's where we're not. And aliens would go where we're not. So people say, oh, they'll set up a base on the moon. Well, we're at the moon, actually. The Japanese are at the moon. The Chinese are at the moon. We have probes circling the moon all over the place. We have every square inch of that moon covered down to a 20-foot diameter object we can see. Every square inch of that moon. So that's really not the best place for an alien civilization to hide. However, here on our own planet, we can only penetrate the water's depth down towards a few hundred feet. You know, and if you want to say a few thousand feet on occasion, it's more like an elevator. And research subs that go straight down and straight up. That's like a tiny little pin going down into the ocean. You'd never see it. So it'd be easy to hide from that. So I think that that's where they are. They're where we're not. And so that being the case, if they could observe us, what would they notice? Well, they would see that we're divided up into groups with borders. Right? They would understand that. They don't have to understand English at all. They can just see the different continents and different people. You know, some people have different colored skin. Some people have different shaped eyes. Some people have different habits and cultural things that they do. This can be observed. And they notice that they don't intercommunicate. The United States, for instance, doesn't have an active participation with Mongolian people, for instance. You know, yes, we're friendly. Yes, we have tourists that go to Mongolia and so forth. But we don't help the Mongolians. They don't help us. We don't have an integrated society where everybody helps everybody else. That is obvious. That's something you'll see as an alien race. So therefore, you're going to say, I think we're just going to sit back and watch these folks, because I don't think I want to let them know we're here, because they might ask us to give them stuff that the other people don't have. You know, they recognize the have and have not society. That's something you can just see before you. You can watch that happening. You don't have to be told that's happening. You can see it. So I think that they're sitting back and just waiting. Now, I think they can bide their time, because in my view, it's very likely they've been here many times in the past. I think come and go. It's most likely they come and go. Why? We do that. If you think about modeling how we explore the solar system with how an alien race might explore the stars, you can draw, I think, some parallels. Now, we can't, force our exploration techniques or our mode of operation with the exploration onto another species. Of course we can. But if we're anything, and if there's anything to be said, we will probably explore similar to others. When we get the technology, we're going to push, we're going to go. So an alien race will do the same. Okay, they'll go and they'll explore. And so they'll explore with a small group. They're not going to send an entire gigantic, fleet, okay, someplace on a chance, on a whim. Okay, they'll come here, check it out, look it over, and then they'll leave. And they'll come back in 1,000 years, because the universe has time on its side. Nothing but time on its side. And so there's no reason why they couldn't have been visiting us on and off for the last several thousand years. So right. I think that's probably what they're doing.
And what you were saying about space, the more that I learn about it, it seems like the less I understand. And every day we're having new articles come out. Well, this isn't what we thought it was. The sun isn't what we thought it was. These planets aren't what we thought. There's more planets out there. Everything's changing every day. The more technology advances. So the possibilities of what could really be going on out there is quite fascinating.
It is, because if you notice, we don't even know pretty much how many objects are sitting out there in our solar system. We're still worried about a killer asteroid, right? We can't even stop that. I mean, at a minimum, a civilization should be able to defend its own planet against a natural catastrophe like that. We should see those coming years away and be able to calculate it. And if we find them, we can, and we do. There's a list called the Sentry List, which actually monitors dangerous asteroids. And more often than not, items that were put on there, asteroids put on that list, are taken off after the calculations are refined. So we have some of it. But you see, there's always those mystery ones, like Oumuamua, came whipping through this solar system, okay, at nearly 100,000 kilometers per hour. And it left at just a little more than that, a little less than that, can't remember. And no one saw it until it was on its way out. Now, what if that was heading for Earth? It would have been all over, maybe not all over, but it would have been potentially not an extinction level event, okay, but it would have definitely been an event that would have wiped out a good deal of city life or people or marine life. It could have been devastating, in other words. Now there's an interstellar comet heading our way. Okay. Well, good. We found that. We saw it. We see that. So, it's the ones we can't see that we have to worry about. And how do we find those? Well, I'll say it this way: as the internet gets better developed, actually, then in the hands of me and you and other people who want to actually hunt for objects that might threaten this planet, we have that capability. I'm developing a system like that right now with an Academy Award winner, Douglas Trumbull. Doug and I have been good friends for many years. And he did the special effects for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner. He's worked with Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick on 2001 and Ridley Scott and all these guys, And he is a genius in the way he thinks. And so he and I have a meeting of the minds, and we actually think about trying to find whether we have interlopers in our cosmic neighborhood. And so we're building a system to actually detect them using science and not just cameras, because that's grossly ineffective, because the cameras can't just see what we see with our eyes. They have to see all kinds of frequencies that aren't visible. So you see, there's lots of ways to do this. There's lots of ways to try and figure out what's really going on out there and who or what might be in our local space. And that's kind of what we're doing.
That is fascinating stuff. Marc, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. And I can't wait to meet you at the conference and hear your presentation.
Yeah, that'll be great. I hope you enjoy it.
Not only will there be 30 extraordinary speakers, but you're going to get to enjoy a night sky watch, a film festival, and optional social meal events where you can actually meet and hang out with these speakers. This is also going to be the world's lowest cost convention. But you have to go to Laughlin UFO Mega Conference.com right now and make sure you get your early discount package prices. You don't want to miss this extraordinary event.